Quantitative Finance, hosted by Saranda House.
Today, we have the privilege of learning from an exceptional individual, Mr. Mehul Mehta, who has made remarkable strides in the field of quantitative finance.
Let me take a moment to introduce our guest, Mr. Mehul Mehta. Mr. Mehul Mehta is currently a manager at Charles Square, one of the leading financial services firms in the world. He holds a master's degree in financial mathematics from North Carolina State University, USA.
What makes his journey even more inspiring is that within just 4 years of stepping into the industry, he has achieved the position of manager, 46K followers on LinkedIn, and 10K plus followers on YouTube, an extraordinary milestone that reflects his dedication, expertise, and passion in the field of quantitative finance.
Today, Mr. Mehta will share his insights on the world of quantitative finance,
The tips for shaping your academics and career path,
must have skills that top firms are looking for.
and real life experience and actionable advice. We are incredibly fortunate to have him here with us today to inspire and guide us.
Once again, thank you for joining us. Without further waiting,
We would love to hand over the session to Mr. Mehul Mehta.
Thank you, first of all. Really, thank you both of you for a quick introduction about myself. Really flattery words. Didn't expect that much, to be honest. But yeah, hi everyone. Just a quick background. As everyone know, like if you don't know me, my name is Mehul Mehta. So you guys are super talented. I am not as talented as you guys are, but I did my engineering from VIT University, Vellore. I was an electronic engineer. Never so at least right now you know what is quantitative finance. Back in 2018, the market, I mean, no one knew what is quantitative finance. Even I mean, no one have heard what is quantitative finance. So but I got really excited, okay, because it was, I watched this movie called Three Idiots, and there was this thing said by Amir Khan, ki if the person has to go into banking, why did he waste his seat in engineering? कि पागल ही था वो तो, right? But that is not the case anymore, right? Because see, when you come for quantitative finance, the toolkit that you require is mathematics, statistics, programming, and we engineers, we are already good at it. So now the space has opened up really big, and I would say really exciting times coming in. So just to give you a quick background, so I did my engineering from VIT University. So after I graduated, I joined PwC as a consultant. There I worked almost for like 3 years. When you work in the industry, there is a point which comes in. You say, "Oh, either I need promotion or I need a master's degree," right? So they were not promoting me, and I thought, enough of me working crazy hours, and let me see what I can do. And that's where I decided, oh, let me do a master's in USA. And this idea bumped in, and I started researching more on financial engineering, quantitative finance, mathematical finance. Essentially all are the same, okay? So one thing is, if you come across all these buzzwords and people think, oh, no, computational finance is very different from mathematical finance. No, because I've been in the US, I've spoken to multiple program directors. It's just one or two subjects here or there. Otherwise, more or less, the curriculum are the same. So I came to US, did my masters. Long story short, I graduated, joined a commercial bank in south part of America, worked there as a modeling analyst. So the good part is, over the years, I was very passionate, because I was very passionate about the field. I used to keep reading a lot of books, and that really helped me, gain a lot of knowledge, because in US they don't teach you. So in India, what happens is, all our professors, they give us notes, and they do this hand holding, right? And when you come to USA, the education system is very different here. I went to the class very first day, like, and my professor said, oh, you come to the class, next time read chapter 1 to 5, and let's discuss. Back of my mind, I feel like, oh, I paid 60 lakhs. What should I discuss? You sit with me and you tell me what the concept is, right? So things are very different in USA. They don't teach you, they discuss. Now discussing is when you know the concept, right? So So that's where the habit of learning things and learning by self became very important. So read a lot of books uh, as I graduated, joined Regions Bank, as I said. But 18 months down, and I got a good opportunity, got this opportunity to work as a manager at Charles Schwab. It's a brokerage house in United States, one of the biggest brokerage house. So here I am in front of you guiding, or so I would just say, I know this field is very complex. It seems very complex, but the reality is it is not. I know for a fact that people think only people, since you all are IITians, right? But even if you were not, I would have still said, even if you belong to Tier 1, 2, 3 university, you can still go into quant finance, jobs, or you can still crack good quant finance jobs. So I have prepared a small presentation for all of you. So please, stop me and feel free to ask questions. I don't know if you want to ask questions midway or if you feel like asking questions in the end, but feel free to stop me and ask me anything. So I have a quick presentation for all of you. If you don't mind, if you I can share those presentation.
Yes,
So
sir. We
okay.
will be taking questions at the end of the session.
Okay, and also please don't say me sir. I'm not that old. Also, you can either say me Mehul. Yeah, I don't know but sir is too old for me. Yeah, yeah,
It's
you can
not,
say me.
well, so out of respect, we are saying sir to you. So that's
Okay.
why. Okay. So let's begin with
So
the
yeah,
PPT.
let me know if you guys can see my screen. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, sir. Is it
Yes, yeah.
visible?
Okay, so one quick thing is I cannot see you guys because the way this Google Meet works is I cannot see you, but I can hear you out. So if in case I go too fast, please feel free to stop me. If in case you are not able to understand anything, feel free to stop me. All right.
Okay.
So okay, as I said, my name is Mehul Mehta. I'm a quant working in the industry for more than, I would say, 5 6 years. The good part is I became quant in 4 years. A lot of people think I became by doing something. The reality is it's all knowledge. And a lot of you might not know this, but in US sometimes a lot of firms, they do not count your India's experience. So let's say even if I work for in India for 3 years, or they'll still say you are a fresher in US. So a lot of things like this will happen, like when you move out to a new country. So a lot of firms didn't actually count my previous work ex, but then it all boils down to the skill set. Like if you're able to bring in the skill set, you will be able to crack good jobs. And even one thing which so okay, so electronics engineering, did from VIT, joined PwC as in the risk and regulatory, came to US for pursuing a master's, joined Regions Bank as a quantitative modeler, right now working as a manager at Charles Schwab in the risk modeling department. So that's a pretty quick summary. Yes, what I blabbered for last 10 minutes. Now I'll start from very basic. What is quantitative finance? Because a lot of confusion around the field. People think it's only C++. A lot of confusion, I feel. I'll say this field is such that it is a combination of five sub-disciplines: mathematics, statistics, finance, economics, and programming. So essentially it's a combination of all the five sub-disciplines, and then this field came up, which is quantitative finance. So if someone says that, okay, in quantitative finance it's all about C++, that is not the case. If someone says it's all about solving, stochastic calculus on the job, that is not the case. So it's a mixture of everything. And there are so many jobs out there. I'll talk about the jobs in the later half, which is like quant researcher, quant trader, quant developer, quant analyst. There are multiple jobs out there, and every job requires a different skill set. But just to start with, what the field is, just remember combination of five sub-discipline. All right. Now, a lot of people think that, okay, I know data science, I know Python, I know machine learning. Why am I not getting jobs in quantitative finance? The reason is because not a data scientist is not a quant finance. If that was the case, every data scientist or every machine learning engineer would have become a quant. But reality is you need a lot of finance knowledge, a lot of a lot of economics knowledge, and at the same time a lot of mathematical knowledge to become a good quant. So just to summarize it, or just to put it in simple words, right? You guys are you all engineers, or is it a mix of engineers, economists? Like what's the diversity?
We are from data science and electronic communication. There are two branches.
Okay, so that's great because now you have already studied probability, calculus, linear algebra. So these actually are the foundations of quantitative finance. Even if you go for any master's degree, the prerequisites are probability, statistics, calculus, linear algebra. So you all have studied this, which is the best part of it, and even programming for say, right? Now the thing is, what happens is, because just think, right? If you want to get an interview, or if the interviewer will look at your resume, and most of the students, at your age, what you all do is, your resume is all filled with machine learning projects, right? Oh, I use neural networks, I use this machine learning algorithm, I use that, I use natural language processing for doing xyz. But the truth is, what they really, because see, they are not hiring a data scientist or a machine learning engineer, they are hiring a quant. So what essentially they need is to have you to, at least you should have worked on certain projects which are related to derivatives, risk management, portfolio management and optimization, stochastic modeling, financial risk management, fixed income, time series modeling. Machine learning is definitely, if you know machine, I'm not denying the fact, if you know data science, machine learning, programming, that's a good thing. But that is not the end, that is the starting, that is the base. What you need to do is you need to build that base, to a stronger point. So my suggestion for you, all of you, is, please start, if you already know Python, data science, machine learning, please start deep diving into other areas of quantitative finance. Because this is the biggest mistake that I see start, freshers doing, that thinking, oh, with a machine learning resume, I'm not getting quant finance interviews. You will never get any interviews because you do not have exposure to other subjects of quantitative finance. So like, I would highly suggest that please, at least, start with derivatives, I would say, because there are multiple fields, and you might be confused, oh, which topic should I pursue. I would say, if you're thinking from an interview perspective, right? Because end of day, see, one thing is passion, but passion does not give you money. What gives you money is a real job. How would you get a real job? Is by showcasing that you have the knowledge. I would say, if you really want to, if you are done with the prerequisite, which is calculus, linear algebra, probability, statistics, and if you know programming and data science, machine learning, this is the base. This is level 1. What is level 2 is, start learning derivatives and risk management, the most important part of it. Any interview you go, you will be asked these concepts. Okay, so this is, again, this just my request, that if you are diving deep into quant finance, this is the area you should actually start with derivatives. Okay. Now, a lot of people ask me, oh, it's so, this quant finance education is so expensive in India. And I truly agree. People just take advantage of you being innocent, or you don't know anything, right? Let's say, I know institutes charging 1 lakh rupees, 2 lakh rupees, 50,000. And that really puts me off. Why? Because eventually, you all are student, you already are paying 1 lakh, 2 lakh to your institute, to your university. Again, giving 1 lakh just for learning something, no, that's not a good idea, right? If you're getting something in, at a lower cost, that would be great. But quant finance education in India is very expensive. So now what should you do, right? So this is where I thought of sharing certain books which really help in my journey. So I'll share three books with you. Okay, one is towards quant finance, one is towards algo trading, and the third one is generic finance. Okay, so the first book, which is options, futures, and other derivatives, and the professor is John C. Hull. So who is John C. Hull? Okay, um, John C. Hull is a professor in Canada. He is considered to be the godfather of quant finance. Lot of theories he has deduced. So I would highly request all of you to please, if you are really excited or if you really want to learn quantitative finance, this is the starting point. This is the book that you should start with now. Because even in interviews, right, they'll ask you questions on based on this book only, right? So of course, like, I know a lot of firms, they ask you all this probability based questions, problem solving, aptitude. That is one thing, but this is, if you have studied this book, you're already at the upper end. So and also one more thing is options, futures, and other derivatives, the book that you see on your screen. This is considered to be bible of quantitative finance in United States. Okay, so this is the bible, I would say. So I mean, I mean, that's what, so of course, like, that's what they refer in the United States, like. But eventually, this book gives you a pretty good hands on derivatives, different mathematical models which are used in derivatives, different risk management techniques which are used in derivatives. Also, this books also goes to the stochastic calculus part of it, which are core, really core to derivatives. I would highly recommend, if you don't want to pay big money to all this institute, start with this book. Have a group of 3 to 4 people, sit together, read like one chapter every day. And I'm telling you, this book, I mean, 6 months down the line, you will be able to complete this book. I know, given that you have your mid semesters, your assignments, you go out for chilling, but still you can manage time and start reading this book. Okay, this is the first book I'll recommend all of you. Now, this is very core to quant finance jobs. Okay, lot of people, I know that they are interested in algorithmic trading. Honestly, algorithmic trading jobs are not that much in India, but people are still, I see students still being crazy about it. Like, oh, I want to do algorithmic trading. I know so many big financial institutions in India, they also don't do algorithmic trading. And believe me, one thing, I know a lot of institutes in India, they are making big money just by teaching you algorithmic trading. But understand one thing, first, eventually, before paying anyone any money, just ask them what is the job prospect, and don't even ask them. People can make a fool out of you, right? What you do is go on LinkedIn, search algorithmic trading intern or algorithmic trading full-time jobs, and that will show you how many jobs are available, and then only deep dive into that field. Because there is no, see, we all know that, oh, algorithmic trading has a lot of money, but does that really has a lot of money? Are firms really hiring for algorithmic trader? Answer can be yes and no, right? But that's what I'm saying. Go on LinkedIn, check out. But let's say if you're really interested, I would highly recommend to study this book. Now, who is Ernest P. Chen? Okay, who is this guy? I would say one of the first members who started writing about algorithmic trading, I guess back in 2000s. Okay, he started with a blog post about, okay, how can you trade using computers, how can you automate your trade. And his post, when he started writing, his post went viral. And that's why this guy Ernest Chen became one of the most prestigious person in algorithmic trading. So see, one more thing is, I know certain institutes, they charge 1 lakh rupees, 2 lakh rupees to teach algorithmic trading. But eventually, I would say start with this book. If you like this book, complete this book. If you like this book, then go and buy those coursework. If you don't like this book, you say, oh, this is not my piece of cake, don't pursue that field. Okay, so this is again my suggestion of how I would have done things if I was back in your place. If I was an engineer, or if I was in my second, third, or fourth year, this is something that I would have done. And the last book, which I really want all of you, really want all of you to read, is Python for Finance by Hills Pick. Okay, now who is this guy? What is this book all about? When you start into finance, or when you start into quantitative finance, we do not know a lot of keywords. Like what is returns, what is volatility, what is Sharpe ratio. Like people don't know. Like, see, for me, I might feel, oh, returns, it's so easy, because I've done my masters in this field, and I've been working in this field for so many years. So for me, all this, whatever you see on your screen, right, for you it might be so, I mean, I would say so scary for all of you, but for me, I have already worked on all those things, so for me it's so easy. But I understand that when I was reading about all these things for the very first time, it was so overwhelming, right? So that's where I say that start reading books, start reading what is return, what is volatility. Right now, you see, because of this US tariff, what Donald Trump, he said on coming on the television. I mean, that has induced a lot of volatility in the financial market. You see your stock market going down both in India and in US and in other countries also. So, like, I'm just saying that if you're aiming a career in quantitative finance, you should understand the terminologies used commonly on the floor, right? And even, when we talk, like when me and my friends talk, we talk in financial terms, right? So let's say, just think about this. When you go out to eat food, you'll say, oh, I like this paneer biryani, or I like this XYZ, or I like this mango milkshake, right? So you talk in terms of food. So when you come into the finance jobs or quant finance jobs, you talk in financial terms, and that's where, you'll be able to talk, and you'll be able to say only when you understand it, right? So please make sure, if you are starting, this is, so, as I said, if you want to jump into quant finance, this is the book that you should refer. Okay, if you want to translate into, if you want to go into algorithmic trading jobs, this is the book you should start. And the third one is this one, which is Python for Finance. If you're aiming for any financial jobs, I would say this is the book you should start with. Now, okay, so, I have few more slides. I know, if I hope you guys are not bored, and I know, like, I have some time, so I'll just few more slides. I'll not bore you, and then I'll be more than happy to take all your doubts. And I'm really sorry if in case you feel overwhelmed with all of this. Okay, now moving on. Different kinds of roles, right? I mean, quant finance, I mean, people talk about quant traders, quant researchers, quant developers. Who are they, right? We don't know. I mean, so many confusing terms being used. Risk quant, model validators. Okay, let me simplify it for all of you, right? Because I know, like, when I started into this field, back, even, when I was in engineering, I used to hear about all these things, quant traders, quant developers. I was like, who are they? Why can't they just have one person doing it? But now I understand, because every role requires a different skill set. Just imagine something like, oh, if you are, this organizing this event, right? There would be a guy who would be, calling me, messaging me, hey Mehul, this is the time. There will be one guy who will be doing the marketing stuff. There will be one guy who will be scheduling all of this, right? So a lot of people being involved. And similar in a firm, right? When you are into a quant finance job, there are a lot of people being involved, and there are a lot of roles being involved, right? So essentially, just to, give you an idea. Okay, quant trader, what does a quant trader do? See, basically what happens is, quant trader will come up with a trading idea. Oh, I think that XYZ will work in the financial market, or XYZ will work in the equity market. Or let's say, when this happens, I'm sure we'll be able to make profit. So basically, trader will come up with a strategy, with a trading idea. What is the role of a quant researcher? A lot of times, if you're working in a high frequency trading firm or a trading firm, the main role is to test the hypothesis, to test the idea that quant trader came up with based on the past historical data. So let's say I say that, oh, I think if I if I buy Apple now, 10 years down the line, I know that Apple will grow, or Apple will beat Bank of America by 10%. Let's say this is my hypothesis, or this is my idea. So what a quant researcher will do is he'll check, has this ever happened in the past? If it, how many times it has happened, right? Because if I'm saying that, oh, one stock is better than the other, it should also happen in the past, right? Or there should be some evidence of it. So quant researcher basically test for those evidences. Also, not just that, right? See, trading is not just only, oh, come up with a trading idea. A lot of times you also need to understand the financial instruments being traded in the market, right? So what a quant researcher do is they will develop pricing models, all these mathematical models to price those instruments which are being traded in the market. Okay, even they build a lot of risk models just to understand what is the risk present in the stock portfolio that you have. Let's say you have 100 stocks in your portfolio, right? What quant researcher will do is he'll understand what is the risk you have in your portfolio. Quant developers, who are they, what do they do? They develop the infrastructure of they develop the infrastructure. Basically, let's say I'm into a algo trading firm. What a quant developer will do is he'll basically, let's say quant trader came up with a strategy, researcher tested the strategy and said, yes, this will work. Quant developer will execute the strategy in C++. Basically, he'll write the strategy in C++ and say that, oh, buy this stock when XYZ happens, and sell this stock when ABC happens. So basically, developer is more like, creating the infrastructure. Every basically, they should not be manual intervention. Quant developer tries to automate every stuff. Not just that, right? Let's say, a lot of times I have built a lot of risk related models. So after the model is developed, it has been deployed, okay, in the production. I know a lot of these things you might not be aware of, but just hear this in form of a story. I developed a model. Now you need to make sure that the model also is there in the production, right? The quant developer will try to optimize the code in such a way that the model is present in the production code. Okay, so that is more like a quant developer job. Risk quant, every portfolio has risk. Risk quant tries to measure those risks. How can you reduce the risk in your portfolio? Model validators, what do they do? Basically, they try to validate the work of quant developers, quant researchers, risk quant. They just try to uh, m- validate whatever other people have done. So this is, different kinds of roles that you can see in quant finance. Okay, so this is just for an example, how things work. So let's say a quant trader design a strategy that, oh, we should buy Apple stock when 10-day SMA crosses the 50-day SMA, and sell it when it goes below it. Okay, this is just like a SMA is like a technical indicator. Okay, so it's more like, let's say quant trader came up with this strategy. Okay, no need for you to know what is SMA. It's fine if you don't know it, it's totally fine. But let's say this is, just from an example perspective, that a trader came up with a strategy. What researcher will do is he will test the strategy. The researcher will test the strategy's effectiveness based on the past data that he has. Okay, and if he gives a green signal, then quant developer will code the strategy and automate it, including if you see real time data. Okay, so the core purpose of a developer is to automate the strategy. What does a risk quant does? Basically to evaluate what is the risk present in that strategy. Okay, and the last role, which is model validator, he basically makes sure that he verifies the results. Okay, like if he verifies all the results and make sure that there's no mistake happening at any point in time. So this is just from an example perspective, what are different roles and how everyone comes into one picture and they try to build a whole, execution. Okay, so little tired. Let me drink some water. Okay, so a lot of times, I understand we engineers, we don't have any formal education related to finance, quantitative finance and whatsoever, right? And eventually, even if you do certain courses, you don't get a real time picture of what's happening, right? So if in case if you're able to take out time, right, I would highly suggest two certifications. One is FRM, the second one is CQF. Now the later, which is CQF, is really expensive. So as students, I'll never ask you to invest in that, but I highly recommend you to pursue FRM level 1, level 2. Why is that the case? Okay. Now if you see like the enrollment fee for this exam is $400. The level 1 exam is close to $600 if you go for early registration. And same for level 2, right? So eventually you can pay like 1,600 to $3,000 and get this certification. Now what's the reality? See, it's very tough for all of us to crack a job, but when you have certifications like this, FRM level 1, level 2, it becomes more evident that you have the subject matter knowledge. But I would say, because we are so much consumed in our day to day work, and I understand that being a student, it's so hard to uh, give out exams, study for exams. You are also doing so many things on the side. So tough to prepare for a certification. But I always say that you guys are all intelligent folks. You all are IITians. I'm sure you are so intelligent, right? So I would highly recommend, please at least look into this. What is this exam? Just to give you a perspective, FRM is Financial Risk Manager. What this program teaches you is how to manage risk in a portfolio in a banking institution, right? So it, or in any financial institution, how to reduce the risk. So it teaches you about what is market risk. Market risk is nothing but risk in the financial market. Credit risk. What is credit risk? See, credit risk is nothing but, let's say, if you go and take a loan, right, from any bank, how would bank know whether you will pay the loan or not? So that is the part of credit risk. Basically, there are a lot of mathematical models used in credit risk, which basically tells whether to give loan or not to you, to the borrowers, right? Then the other kind of risk are operational risk, liquidity risk. So basically, when you pursue this exam, this will actually help you understand different part of quant finance. And to be honest, a lot of quant finance jobs are actually into risk. Okay, so a lot of quant finance, whatever, even in your master's degree, what they teach is, a lot of these concepts. Highly recommend all of you to study or opt for this certification. Now, this is the second certification. I will not recommend any one of you to pursue this. The reason is it's very expensive. Okay, very, very good program. Even I'm planning to pursue it. Still not sure because it's very costly. Like at least in US, they charge $21,000. In India, I feel in India, they charge $10,000, but $10,000 is also 8.5 lakh rupees, which is almost close to how much you are paying for your whole 4 years, right? So not recommended. But again, understand that there's some certification like this, which is CQF, which exists in the market, which also teaches you about quant finance. So this was all about what I had for all of you. I know it's a pretty big session. It was a pretty big session, but I do not want to bore all of you with, because there are a lot of technical terms. It's for me, it would not be good if I go and explain all these terms, because it will be so overwhelming for all of you. But this is just to give you a perspective. Also, if you would love to, I would really love to connect with all of you, right? Really love to. So that's my profile, LinkedIn profile. So if in case you are on LinkedIn, I really hope that we connect. If in case you are not on LinkedIn, I highly recommend that please build your LinkedIn profile, because that's how I got a lot of job offers. Having a good LinkedIn definitely helps you. So that is, that's all about me, my profile, and how you can, or how you can excel into your journey towards Quant Finance. I'll be more than happy to take any doubts whatsoever you have.
Okay, so that was very informative and very full of guidance and very good session you have given to us, and I'm very thankful for it. And so let's begin with the questions that we have. So the question is the which role out of all this will closely align with our degree of data science and electronic science that we are studying?
Okay, that's a very good question. See, I would say, see, because you all have studied probability, statistics, linear algebra, and calculus, I would say start with quantitative finance jobs. Quant analyst, quant researcher, quant trader, quant developer, these, and risk analyst jobs. Because see, eventually finance is something that you all have to study. With the given skill set, you can see, just imagine something like this. I say, oh, I have a data science experience. Yes, I can aim for a data scientist job, but if I want to aim for a better job, which is, let's say, a quant job which pays me much higher than a data science job, then definitely I need to upskill. See, the good part is, I guess, all the audience from IIT Madras?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So you all are super, super, super intelligent. Okay. So, and the good part is, all the quant firms out there, they really respect your university. Okay, they really want to hire all the top notch candidates, and you are all are top notch candidates. I would highly recommend to please start with, to aim for quant researcher, quant analyst, quant trader jobs. Also, I'm not sure if you one thing which I really wanted to show is, um, just give me 1 second. uh, so okay, let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So back in almost like last year, I took this boot camp, which is Quant Finance boot camp. Okay. So if in case you are really interested in Quant Finance, I would highly recommend to take this boot camp. And I guess this is somewhere around 7,000 rupees. I know that's a lot of money, but again, I've taught a lot. The book that I was showing you, John C. Hull, I covered that entire book in the 65 hours of playlist, or it has lot of videos. I guess this will help you. So if in case you think this is something that will accelerate your journey, please buy this bootcamp. And it also has 5 quant projects in the playlist which I have taught, and this is all industry related projects. So if you have those in your resume, that will for sure help you. So if you want, I can share the link with you all.
So, Cheetna, are you going to say something or another question?
Sir, another doubt is
Yeah.
how tough is to crack these jobs as a fresher?
It is tough. It is tough. The reality is, because why is it tough is because uh, why students get rejected is because they don't have the subject matter knowledge, right? Let's say if you want to hire someone in marketing, or let's say a data scientist, right? But if let's say you are the interviewer, and if I come, and I'm the interviewee, and if I come and say, oh, I've never worked on machine learning, oh, I don't know what is NumPy and Pandas, your reaction is, oh, let him go away and let's hire someone else. So same goes with quant finance. If you don't have the skill set, you need to get the skill set. And you see, once you have the skill set, it is very easy for you to get a role in quant finance. The best thing is, not many people or not many students wants to work towards learning the subject matter knowledge. So if you see, I'm saying, don't buy anything, don't buy any bootcamp, just study the book, which is Options, Futures, and Other Derivatives by John C. Hull, and that will teach you a lot of things.
So the next
Thank you,
question,
sir.
I hope this has given the answer to the question to the person that have asked. So next question is, can you tell us some ways how, as a fresher, someone can go and apply for off-campus jobs in the quant field?
See, okay, so this is just to give you a perspective. In India we do not have a concept of off campus hiring and stuff like that, because a lot of companies they do come to our campus. But understand one thing, I got my internship at PwC through off campus. They were all coming in for technology consultant roles. So initially I got a 6 month internship, and that was into risk and regulatory, and that was through off campus. So one thing you all should understand is platforms such as LinkedIn, Indeed, Monster.com will help you get all those job listings. So apply for all those places. So I would say please use LinkedIn, Indeed, and also one more thing is a lot of jobs sometimes are not posted on LinkedIn. So make sure to go on each company's career website and check out for internship roles and full time roles.
So there's two more questions as I'm seeing in here.
Okay.
So another question is, what the scope of algorithmic trading in India, say in next 10 years?
Dude, that's a very tough question, I would say, because see, algorithmic trading is depends a lot on how firms wants to adapt. Let's say future first. Have you all heard about future first? Futures first, have you? It's a big firm out there in India. Futures first, okay. I know that firm. They came back in 2018 to hire from my campus, and they have grown massively. They have so many people out there in their firm. They do not have a algo trading setup. So the point I'm trying to say is when big firms like that do not have a algo trading setup, I don't know how are small firms managing. And whosoever are teaching all this algo trading, first ask all those people, where will I get placed? This is the first question you should ask anyone. Oh, if I'm coming into Quant Finance, what are the job prospects? you know or if I'm coming into data science, see, right now you all can see in the market a lot of data scientists are there, and people are getting data science jobs. But getting into Quant is little tough. But again, understand that they are getting much higher pay. So the point is algo trading. I'm not very sure, because even big firms, I'm not seeing them doing algo trading. So I don't really want to comment, because I'm not that much aware. But please go on LinkedIn, check for algo trading internship jobs. If you get a lot of jobs, think it has a good future. If you are not seeing it, that means yeah, it is little shaky.
So I'm seeing another interesting question. It's kind of like only one person can do all of these parts, like quant researcher, developer, risk management, or if I open any firm for it and take the clients from a firm. So firstly, I know all these things, then after anybody can join.
No, no, no. It's not possible for anyone to do all the jobs. See, okay, let me give you a little context to this, okay? Okay, so I'm a great modeler, okay? I have built a lot of mathematical models for financial institutions, okay? A lot of mathematical models, okay? But I'm not a good trader. I'm not a good developer. Why do I say that? Because I don't know C++. Okay, I just know Python, okay? So definitely not a good developer, because in all developer position they ask you C++. Coming back to traders mindset is totally different. They are very fast paced. I'm not fast paced at all. I'm very slow and steady. Okay, so I like things to go slow. Okay, and in when you are into a quant researcher or a quant analyst kind of jobs, you can take whole lot of time to build models. You can always say, oh, this model is not working. So I'm that kind of person. So point to be said, all rules are very different. Not like it's very different, they are not the same. Issue with India is they firms want you to do everything at once, which is not possible. So but yeah, all the rules are different.
So, one and last doubt. How much time does it generally take someone to break into the quant field if she will be preparing from foundation fundamentals to advanced?
Okay, given that you already know, let's say, linear algebra, calculus, probability, statistics, and you already know Python, data science, machine learning. If you know, let's say this much, I would say 6 months to 9 months of dedicated study will get you a con job. And if you guys won't get it, you can reach out to me. I can tell you, I'm certain on this, you will get. But the only thing is you need to study dedicatedly. That but 6 to 9 months is more than enough. For 6 months, I'm saying you, if you read the book for 6 months, do projects, I can guarantee you will at least get interview calls. Now converting those interview calls is more on yourself. Yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so we have some hands raised here. So we would like to them to ask their questions from you too.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So Shankara Rao, Konki, are you there? Hello.
You can maybe ask the question. I'm more than happy to reply if he's not there.
Okay.
I
Okay,
see
so
his hands being raised though. Little busy. Oh, okay.
okay, yes, Raj. Okay, do you have any question? Okay, we have some questions in chat box only.
Okay.
What was your skill set at this point when risk management at PwC?
Okay, so skill set, like when I joined or after, like after I I graduate, I mean, after I did 3 years. Okay, let me say when I joined. Okay, I knew Python, I knew data science, I knew machine learning, and I was hired for a credit risk role. Okay, in credit risk, they use a lot of data science and machine learning. Slowly, because in consulting you work on different projects, so I started with credit risk, moved to market risk, moved to proper con job. So that's how I transitioned. But eventually I also had a lot of knowledge of on derivatives, and that's where, and how did I get the knowledge? By reading the book Options, Futures and Other Derivatives by John C. Hill. So please make sure, I would say, if you already have Python, data science, machine learning, start developing knowledge on derivatives and risk management, even stochastic calculus. That will really help you get good job offers, I'm saying you.
So the question that Shankara Rao wanted to ask was the role of quant developer and quant researcher.
Okay, how they are different? Okay. Quant developer, what do they do is they develop the infrastructure for any trading algorithm. Let's say if I want to trade automatically, I do not want any manual intervention, right? I'll give you two examples, okay? So one is trading, okay, which is like, oh, I want to do everything automated. There should be no manual intervention. What? And see, in trading, all these big firms, even for them, because they are trading $1 million, right? For them, milliseconds matters, right? Even if your code is executing in less than 1 second, that is also not good, because they want the trade to be executed in milliseconds. So you should be really good with C++. One example. Second example is, let's say, quant researcher, they developed a mathematical model which can be used to understand what is the risk in a portfolio, let's say a stock portfolio. Now, this model the quant researcher has developed. Now, see, eventually the model that has been developed will be used by some traders, right? Eventually, that will be used by some traders or portfolio managers or anyone, right? How will they use it? That has to be a part of the software or a system in which they can run. All these other folks can run it. So what a quant developer will do is he or she will basically put this whole model into the system so that the other folks can use it. Essentially, a quant developer should be good with writing codes, optimizing codes, and basically make sure that the execution time of the whole thing is very less. Researcher, the role of what is the role of researcher? Build mathematical models, come up with different trading strategies. There are a lot of quant researcher roles in India are just, oh, generate alpha. Alpha is nothing but generate profit using some trading strategy. So eventually what they essentially work on is uh, to work basically generate a lot of trading strategies. Now now you might be thinking, how would I know a trading strategy? I don't know a trading strategy. That's why it's very important to read books that will help you to understand what kind of trading strategies are there in the market and what are the common types of strategies being followed. So what happens is, a lot of firms, they combine two strategies together and build a new strategy. But even to combine two, you should first know what are those two, right? So yeah.
Yes,
And
Raj has a question.
Yeah.
Yashraj, are you
hello,
there?
sir. Yes,
Hi.
hello, sir. Good morning, sir.
Hi.
So, like, my question is that one day I was just reading a quant research intern, like the JD of in the Jane Street company. I was just looking at it, and they were just mentioning that you need to have a high proficiency in one language, which was C and C++. You need to know that probability, maths, algebra, and all this, and you should have a high problem solving skills. They don't specifically mention that you need to have a quant research knowledge or a finance knowledge. So
Yeah,
like
I
while
agree.
applying, do they do like see all this, or like they whatever they just mentioned, they only see that?
Okay. So if you see any trading rules or research, so what you are targeting is Jane Street, number one trading firm out there, right? What they are actually seeing is how fast you can optimize the code, how fast you can solve a probability question. Essentially, trading boils down to all probabilities. What if this happens? What if stock goes down given that the technology sector is down? So this is what probability of A given B, right? And I'm not sure if you have heard about this Bayes theorem. Bayes theorem is used a lot in probabilities. So it's essentially all nothing but probabilities, permutation, and combination being used in trading firms. So that's why they ask you all of this. I remember one of my friend, he came from a trading firm. He said, "Oh, even if you're going to take out coffee, we'll ask what's the probability of you having people, before you." So they all talk in probabilities. So that's why they ask you a lot of probability, because that helps them understand how fast you can think.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so any more questions? Does anyone has any more questions? Okay, Advait, go on.
Hello, Mehul.
Hi, Advait.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, like, how difficult would it be for someone who is, on a course to pursue, for example, a master's degree in the US?
Mhm.
So, is it like difficult for an international student to land a quant job, or like,
Yeah.
is it a,
Okay.
yeah,
Even if you come to US, it is not like you'll get a job. No. Eh, eh, Getting a job is not easy in US, neither it's easy in India. And 5 years back, almost 7 years back, the mindset was, oh, if you do a master's degree, you'll get a job. But that is nowhere the case right now. Even if you have a master's, even if you have a PhD, then also you might not get a job. So what will get you a job is lot of project building, showcasing that you have the knowledge to the interviewer, right? So that's how. But if your question is, oh, should I come for a master's degree? Yes, that's a great option. Okay, I see one question. Are there US based remote jobs that we can do from India? No. the Even people in US are not getting jobs, so from India it's way too tough.
So there's one more question. Could you please provide additional insights regarding the role and responsibilities of a quantitative developer and quant trader?
Okay. Quant trader, they'll ask you a lot of probabilities. If you're just wanted to understand from an interview perspective, they'll ask you probabilities, permutation, combination, problem solving, puzzle solving. For a developer, they'll ask you to code in C++. They'll ask you to solve a lot of lead code questions, medium to hard. Okay. So this is from a interview perspective. From a job perspective, as I said, trader is more about coming with the strategy, reading the financial market, trading in the financial market. They are given time to okay, come up with a strategy and see if the strategy will work or not in the financial market. They do a lot of study, check, what's the market dynamics, and then they execute their trade. But a developer job is more towards developing softwares, writing codes, optimizing codes.
Okay. So, Yash, do you have any
Hello there.
question?
Yeah.
Right.
So, which are the best project to secure an intern in Quant company?
Sorry, I did not get you. Can you say that again?
Which are the best project to secure an intern in Quant company
Best projects, I would say.
for intern?
Okay, for internships, I would say one project that I would highly recommend is pricing derivatives using Black-Scholes, binomial tree, and Monte Carlo. These all might be new terms for you, but if you go and check my playlist, it's already there. This project is already there in my playlist. Okay. Second project is value at risk modeling. This is more like a mathematical model being used by a lot of financial institutions, even in trading firms. So I would say value at risk modeling is another good project to have in your resume. Third project, I would say, have something on machine learning and data science, which shows that okay, you have worked with data. Fourth project is something on credit risk. There are a lot of data sets out there on credit risk. Have a project on credit risk. So essentially, what are you covering is one project on credit risk. This value at risk model that it's all also on my YouTube channel. This is nothing but a market risk project. Okay. Again, the derivative pricing is also a quant finance core quant project. And uh, one last, machine learning is, you should, because you come from a data scientist background, have that in you should have those in your resume. So if you have this, I can guarantee you'll get a lot of interview calls. And one more thing is, see, a lot of times, things, I would say, having a see, because in my playlist, things are little scattered. I have mentioned that, oh, I've taught derivative pricing models. But first you should understand what is derivatives, right? If you are trying to price something, you should first know about the product itself, and derivative is a big market. If you can afford, I'll highly recommend, please. And if in case you need certain discounts, I guess the courses, the bootcamp that I offer is 7,000. If you need some discount, you can please reach out to me on LinkedIn, or you can ask the head of this, to reach out to me. I can provide a code so that you all get good discounts. But essentially, if you want the bootcamp, it will be more like a structured learning. But if you just want projects, you can check out my YouTube channel.
Thank you, sir.
Vishal, do you have any question? Okay, Shivang has a question.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Hi,
HFT
Shiva.
and Quant Finance are different. What is the rule?
Okay, HFT is high frequency trading. Okay, so what is the difference between trading and high frequency trading? Trading is normal. You see a trade, you execute it, right? In HFTs, you are executing in milliseconds, and not just in milliseconds. You are executing large amount of transactions. So I know a lot of HFT firms. They in just one go, they execute like thousands of shares. They buy thousands of shares. They sell thousands of shares. When you are doing this manual trading, it's very different. So high frequency trading is trading within seconds, within milliseconds, and all. That's why, like, all this are done using computers. And all the HFTs, they use computers to trade. They don't do manual trading. And what is quant finance? It's more like a discipline. What is data science? Data science is more like a discipline, right? So similarly, quant finance is more like a discipline.
Okay, sir.
Also,
So,
I'm
sorry.
just putting, yeah, I'm just putting in the bootcamp details. If in case you are interested, you can look into the bootcamp. Sorry, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Sumit, if you have any doubt, go on.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Hi, Sumit.
My
Good morning.
question is silly. You have taught me Raman, but I'm still looking for who is Ram. That what is trading actually is means. Does that means ki a trader comes and sells something and a buyer purchase it? I don't get it. What is trading actually?
Okay, I understand. I understand. I've been in that spot, right? Because a speaker comes and talks about fancy stuff, and I'm like, oh, what the speaker is talking about. Okay, so okay, I'll put it in simple words. See what happens in trading, right? Um, I'll give you two examples. Okay, one is, let's say, a bank. Okay, let's say bank like Bank of America. Okay, how they are generating money. Okay, they are generating money by giving out loans, right? This consumer, this education loan, personal loan, car loan, house home loan, right? They give out loans and they make money using that loan. Also, to protect from risk, they invest or they trade in the financial markets into certain financial instruments. Okay, so that they can protect themselves. Okay, now this is one way how financial institutions trade in the market just to protect themselves. Second example is trading firms. How are trading firms able to make money? Only through trading. They are not doing any commercial activities like giving out loans or something like that, right? They're just doing trading. So what is trading? Basically, you buy some security and sell some and sell the same security. Something like, let's say you bought a home, or bought a house, let's say for 1 lakh rupees, and sell that house for 2 lakh rupees. If that is the case, you basically, you made a profit of 1 lakh rupees, right? Because you bought low and sold high. So similarly it happens in the trading world. You make sure that you do some analysis. Okay, you buy the stock at a lower you buy a stock, and then you sell it at a higher price. So the difference is basically is what helps you get money, right? That's the profit that you have generated. So that is what trading is. So what people try to do is they try to generate profit by doing this activity, which is buying low, selling high. But sometimes loss happens. Why is that? Because let's say you bought a house thinking that the value of this house will go up, but you saw that, oh, there came a bridge, there came a plan of government which is building a bridge, and because of that bridge, the value of your house actually went down. So now you bought a house for 1 lakh rupees. Now the house is for 50,000, right? And if you go and sell that, it's a loss for you, right? Because you bought high and now you're selling for lower price. So same is the case in trading. If you're buying any stock for a higher price and the value of the stock decreases, that's where you book a loss in your books. I hope that helps you understand.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, so Yash has a doubt, a question.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Yash.
So, what are your opinions of the tariff exposed by President of Omega and how it is gonna affect quants?
Yeah. What to say, man? The markets are down. That's what I see. Markets are all red. See, eventually, what happens is, you know, very, very tough question, man. What to say? How it affect cons? I don't know, man. I mean, my job is good, so so very, very tough question. Yeah, I mean, see, of course, like when some things like this happens, you do not see the implications of it in shorter term, but you see the implications of it in the longer term, right? So definitely, when it's like a trade war. Right now the values of company has decreased. If you see the stock market, it's all red. You're right, this it's all red. The values have just decreased. When something like that happens, there can be more layoffs. Not sure, I cannot guarantee it. It's all in the air. No one knows what will happen in the future.
Thank you, sir.
So Thank you, sir. We have one last question, and with that, we will wrap up our session for today. So, the
Okay.
question is, which role from the ones you have described above is most likely to be replaced or at least affected by the AI agent, considering that all major AI organizations are releasing powerful AI agents?
Don't worry, you still have to study. Okay, I know this question is more like, oh, I want to escape. Okay, so no, there's no escape. Okay, see, all this, see, coding for sure has been relevant. I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, now most of the companies, 70%, I see 60 to 70% of people using Chat GPT. There are a lot of other good this apps which are just writing codes like crazy. So definitely I see, see, whenever a new technology comes in, it reduces some jobs, but also it increases other jobs. So definitely I can see that, because at least in USA, the market for computer science is terrible, very bad, very bad. I mean, I feel like a quant can get a job very easy rather than a computer science guy, which was never the case, never ever the case, specifically in the US, right? So I would say, like, definitely I see computer coding going away, but still, if, because you all will be graduating in few years, right, in a year or two, still by that time you will still ask the same question. And in country like India, where there's so many population, things won't change, things will remain the same. You still have to solve lead code, you still will be asked a lot of this Python based questions or computer science based question. So I know the the question, because I was also a student, I understand the mindset, right? So but yeah, you still have to study.
So, yeah, thank you, sir. So, as we come to the end of this amazing session, we would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to you for sharing this valuable insights and knowledge and giving us your valuable time. So, your journey and insights have been truly inspiring to all of us, and we are grateful for this opportunity that we got to learn from you.
To all our attendees, thank you for your active participation and enthusiasm throughout the session. We hope you leave today with the newfound clarity and motivation as you take your first steps into the exciting world of quantitative finance.
On behalf of our Saranda House, we wish you all the great success in future and your future endeavors. And stay curious, learning, continue striving for excellence. And so, do you have some last words for us?
Yeah, so okay, you all are super talented. You all have cracked IIT. I know for sure that super intelligent. You'll have great careers. One more thing which I want to say is, if you don't like some field, a lot of you might study quant finance and do not like it. Don't think that's the end of the world. That is never the case. If you don't like one field, try exploring other, but make sure that at least you try exploring fields. Try to explore quant finance, try to explore digital marketing or whatsoever, being a data scientist, machine learning, whatsoever you like. Try it, because this is the time you can try. When you come in my age of 5, 5, 6, 7 years down the line, you have very less choices to try. So don't do this. Try a lot of things in your. This is the best life you have. Student life, engineering life is the best life. I still love my engineering days. Please make sure to make most of it. So yeah, that's my last words for all of you.
Thank you once again and have a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you, sir,
everyone.
for joining
Thank
us
you, sir.
today.